7:17 and new this morning, a bizarre battle is brewing after Mattel filed a trademark complaint with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office against DC-based political podcast Coffee with Ken.
So the host is Ken Biberaj, and Ken says that Mattel filed this lawsuit claiming that audiences might mistake his local show with the toy giant's Barbie franchise character, Ken, of course, which they say could potentially damage their brand.
Right, really bizarre here, right? He joins us now to talk more about this, and also, Ken, your response to the lawsuit, of course. Good morning, thanks so much for coming on. What was your initial reaction when you learned Mattel had filed this complaint against your podcast?
Well, thanks for having me on. And I think it was the same reaction you both just shared. We are taking this podcast pretty seriously. We started it 5 years ago at the beginning of the pandemic. It's a thought leadership series where we have interviewed mayors and governors and CEOs and David Rubenstein and the New York Stock Exchange. And we take it seriously enough because we're bringing people together for exciting conversations. So we filed for a trademark for Coffee with Ken, and it was preliminarily approved. And on that last day, out of nowhere, my lawyer called me and said, "You'll never believe who objected." And we were just shocked. I mean, we understand the popularity of the name Ken, but the idea that a big company like Mattel can not only own a Ken doll, but can own Ken is just shocking. And we think it's a bit of a slippery slope for creators everywhere who may be coming out on their own, trying to have their own content.
And your name is Ken.
Right.
That's the whole other part. You came on, you were smiling. So, but I know this is serious. I mean, how do you feel about this in its totality as far as this giant company coming after you?
Yeah, look, it's very daunting. It was something we really took seriously at the beginning was, do we even have this fight? Is it worth it? It's very intimidating. It's scary. And I think that was the intent, right? Sometimes these big brands and these big companies can intimidate through legal proceedings like this and prevent people from actually moving forward. But after talking to lawyers and experts, it really became clear that this was a bit of an overreach, and it felt like they were just trying to blanketly preserve the name Ken so that nobody could use it. And Ken's a pretty common name, right? So it's not like something that we should all kind of take lightly. I think there's kind of our situation that I'm dealing with, but also more broadly for people who are creating their own content, who are kind of coming out there. This is a scary kind of scenario where big companies could just bully, smaller folks that are just having substantive content. And I'm pretty proud of what we've created. We have a lot of people coming to in-person events, and we have PR companies calling us. Not once has anyone ever logged on and said, "Oh, wait, I thought I was doing the interview with the Barbie doll."
Right. Exactly.
I mean,
and your content is so different. You sort of mentioned it. These are like, powerful people that you talk about. Exactly.
Yeah, we're really trying to lean into like topics that I'm curious about, right? So we don't really have a set theme. So we've covered everything from artificial intelligence to reshoring, tariffs, advanced manufacturing, job creation, the economy. This started during COVID, and we prioritized kind of three buckets. One was focusing on public policy leaders, so government, then CEOs, business, innovation. And then we've also prioritized entrepreneurs in education, this kind of trifecta of nonprofits, government, and business. So university presidents, and we're trying to focus on big topics. So whether it's being on main stage with Governor Pritzker in Illinois, hosting the Secretary of the Navy, we don't take this lightly. We're really excited by what we've created. And honestly, in this town, at this moment, the idea of just like grabbing a cup of coffee, sitting down with folks and having conversations, people are responding to it. So if the outcome of this kind of situation with Mattel right now is that we get a few more eyes, maybe they come because of Mattel, but hopefully they stay for the coffee.
Okay, so Ken, I think I know the answer, but is your podcast being impacted by this lawsuit? What are your plans moving forward?
Well, we're just going to, we have to go through on one track, the actual process of dealing with the trademark office. Again, we had preliminary approval, right? Like the trademark office thought that we should get it. So Mattel's the one who sought to stop it. So we'll see how that plays out. In the meantime, we're going to continue to have conversations. We're booking guests for the fall. There's a lot of energy and eagerness, and I don't plan on stopping. So we're going to keep doing what we're doing, and we're having a great time. And again, look, this gets you a lot of attention, and we're excited about that, and it's a fun story, but it's also pretty serious, right? We're going to have substantive conversations that matter at a moment in time where lots of folks are looking for kind of common sense solutions and ideas, and bringing people together is never a bad thing, and we're going to keep doing it.
And Ken, in full disclosure, I've already let Allison in on this, but I have to let everybody know we are fellow Hawk graduates. Go Hayfield.
Hayfield.
And once a Hawk, always a Hawk. Continue to soar,
Always.
my friend. Really proud of you. And you know what? I have no doubt this will all be worked out.
Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. Thanks for tuning in. And if anyone's watching, it's coffeewithken.com.
We'll be listening.